Hello everybody, this is Dan from Christie's RV. Today we're going to be taking a look at this used Jayco Jay Flight 31 RKS. I'm going to go over the stuff that you need to know once you've purchased this unit. So first off, on the front of the unit you have your electric tongue jack, you have your up and down, and then the light on the front. The tongue jack does have a emergency hand crank, so there's a hand crank in the front compartment of the trailer. You just unscrew the top cap, you put the crank in, you can manually crank it if it doesn't work electrically to get it on or off your truck. Then you have your propane system, two 30-pound bottles, has a crossover regulator in the middle. The system is designed to be used with both bottles open. Whichever one the arm is pointing towards is the one it's drawing propane from. When that bottle becomes empty, the little sight gauge on top here will turn red, but then it'll automatically start drawing propane from the other side. When you notice that's the case, you just need to switch the lever over to the other side and it'll stop drawing from that side, and then you can have the empty bottle filled. Behind that you have your battery in a box. So down on the side of the trailer you have your cable and satellite inputs. You have your furnace vent, which will be hot when the furnace is running. Underneath that you have your sewer hookup. So there's a sewer hose in the back bumper. Then you have the three valves. So you have a black valve and two gray valves. The gray ones are sink water. The black valve is the toilet tank. So you'll just hook the hose on into the dump station, then just pull open whichever valve you want to drain from. The back corner of the unit you have where your power cord comes out. There's approximately 20 feet of cord. It just pulls in and out. On the rear of the unit we have the fridge vent. Everything's controlled from inside. The only thing to note here is that you can't block the airflow into that vent, so don't lean anything up against it. And you have your city water connection here at the back, so if you're going to hook up your water hose to it, that's where you hook it up, in your outside shower. The other back corner you have your water heater. Open the water heater, you're just going to turn the tab and pull it open. Now everything's controlled from inside the trailer other than the drain plug, so the drain plug goes in here. If you're going to remove the drain plug, I recommend that you take the pressure out of the system first, so open up the taps inside and bleed the pressure out. The only other thing to note is that the pressure relief valve, it is common for it to drip slightly, so if you notice that, it's normal. Then you have your fresh water fill, so if you want to fill the holding tank, that's where you're going to fill it from. Once it's full, it'll start draining out underneath the unit. Underneath the unit, directly below it, there's that white valve. The white valve is the drain for the fresh tank. So inside the unit, the stairs themselves just pull out. Now the stairs are adjustable. There's some pins here to adjust. So you can set it for level on the ground. So to open your awning, once you come up inside, on your left hand side is the switch. So you're just going to hold extend. So with the electric awning, they're not designed to be used in windy or heavy rain conditions, so recommend you roll them in if that's the case, as well as if you're not going to be at the unit, I recommend you also roll it up. So you can just go all the way out, roll it in. It's just the opposite. You're just going to press and hold the retract button. So on the wall below that you have two switches, so you have your outside light and your inside lights. And you also have your slide out control switch. So the slide out control switch, you're just gonna hold and press out. It's gonna go out. One thing that I recommend is before you run the room out, you make sure that nothing has fallen down in behind the slide out, because it will get crushed The other thing with these slides is that they only seal all the way open or all the way closed, so you can't leave it part way open, otherwise it's definitely going to leak. So once the room gets all the way out, makes that ratcheting noise. That's how you know you're there. So the other thing you have here is your thermostat. So the thermostat controls both the furnace and air conditioning. So you're just going to make your selection down here. So if you turn it to fan, it's just the air conditioning fan, or cool, and you set it to the temperature you want it to be at. For the air conditioning, the other switch here, you can select either auto or on, high or low fan for each. Basically the difference is if you're on auto, when it comes down to temperature, everything shuts off and it'll run the high or low fan, whichever one you're on. If you leave it to on, the fan will continue to run after it's come down to temperature, and just the compressor will cycle on and off. And the other one here is heat, so you're going to switch it to heat, set the temperature you want. Now the furnace is going to run for 15 to 20 seconds before it lights, and then when it either gets to the desired temperature or you turn it off, it is going to run for another 15 to 20 seconds without the flame going, as a safety precaution. So at the back, the fridge controls are above the fridge door. You have your choices of auto or gas, and then you have your temperature setting. So if you select gas, it'll be only propane. If for some reason it doesn't light, this orange light's going to flash. If you're on auto, it's going to run with electricity if it's present, or gas if not, and it'll continue to switch back and forth. So if you had it on electricity and the power went out, it's going to automatically switch to propane until the power is reintroduced. Below that, you have your load center. So there's a cover, you just got to pop it off, and it has all your breakers and fuses inside. On top of the stove, you have your fan and light. The stove top itself, to light them, you're just going to select which one you want and turn the knob to light. Now the center burner is the high output burner, so it's the one you'll want to use if you're boiling water or something like that. The oven, to light it, is going to turn it to pilot. Once you get to pilot, you can actually push in on the knob. So you're going to push and hold on the knob, and then you just have to light the pilot underneath. So once the pilot's lit, you need to hold the button in for another 5 seconds or so. Once you release, that should stay running, and then you can set the temperature that you want. On the wall in the kitchen is your monitor panel, so you can check your battery level, the fresh tank, black tank, and the 2 gray tank levels. Below that you have your water pump switch, so the water pump, to turn it on, you just flip the switch on. Then you have your 2 choices for water heater, so either the electric, you just turn it on, the gas, you turn it on, it lights on its own. If for some reason it does not light, there's a little LED light that will come on in the center to tell you that it did not light. So on the wall here is your GFI outlet. So this GFI protects everything that's in a wet location. So exterior, bathroom, and in the kitchen. If it is tripped, this is where you have to reset them. So when it's tripped, the little red light will be on. You just have to press the reset button there. As far as the TV connections go, underneath the counter here, you have your TV connections inside. So inside here, you have a little booster button. If you're going to use antenna, you push the booster button in. You can see the little lights on. If that is pressed, it's always going to try to go to antenna, even if cable or whatever is there. If you're going to hook up cable, it's going to get hooked up to the same spot it is now. If you're going to run a satellite dish, you have to hook it up to the top peg. In the bedroom, you have some hookups for TV as well. The toilet in this unit is a foot flush toilet. So to add water to the bowl, you just partially step on the pedal. To flush the toilet, you step on it all the way. So in the bedroom, this one window is a emergency escape window. So to use it if you needed to, you just pop the screen out, and then you just open this latch and push it out. So its hinges on the top, so it doesn't fall out on the ground. You can use it like it is right now. There's one notch that it stops in if you want to use it for ventilation purposes. I just recommend if it's windy that you don't use this window, because the wind will pull the window open all the way. If it does that, you just have to go from the outside and feed that rod back into place. So I think that's about it for this unit, and I hope you enjoy it. Have a great day.